אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהכל נהיה בדברו.
If I see that a person, that an individual, is mistaken, or even more so, I see he's about to make a mistake, even a crime, is it my duty to warn him that he is erring, that he is breaking the law? I think that our present tendency is not to get involved in the work of others, in the deeds of others. That is what police is for. The authorities should prevent a crime. But on many occasions, the authorities are not present at the time that is necessary. And then again, I ask myself, shouldn't we be responsible one for another? When you see somebody is doing something wrong, shouldn't you do something? Can you remain indifferent when you see there's an abuse of another person? Elie Wiesel, the famous survivor of the Second World War, said that perhaps worse than the cruelty of the Germans themselves, of the Nazis, people in the concentration camps felt worse was the indifference of civilized society that knew what was happening and did nothing about it. One of the arguments of those who committed cruelties in the Nazi case was that they were simply obeying orders of superiors. And in the armed forces, for example, obedience must be total. The sergeant cannot question what the lieutenant orders him to do. And of course, a soldier cannot question the sergeant either. This is the way an army is organized. Yet, this argument was refuted in the trials of Nuremberg after the war, because a soldier is not obliged to obey an immoral order, an inhuman instruction. The same happened in the trial of Adolf Eichmann in Jerusalem, a very famous trial, in which also came to the fore the argument of Eichmann that he was simply obeying orders and he was part of a structure, he couldn't deviate. But the judges felt and told him, when something is immoral, when it is inhuman, when you're doing something that is a disaster toward the dignity of other people, including sending them to gas chambers, there are no orders that are valid for that. According to the Bible, we are supposed to warn another person when he's about to commit a crime. Yet I'd like to make an observation. One thing is to tell the criminal, you know, you're a criminal. Excuse me. One thing is to tell a person before he commits a crime, you're a criminal because you're doing something wrong. You're saying something about the person himself. What you really should say, it is improper, it is not right to do what you're about to do. Don't say that he's a criminal. In the first case, you're really qualifying the person. In the second case, you are speaking about the action, about the deed that he's about to do. So, just like we would not like to be called criminals because we err sometimes, on the other hand, maybe we should be ready to accept the observation of another person that tells us, you're about to make a mistake, don't do it. You'll be sorry afterwards. And don't be indifferent when you see a crime is going to be committed against another person. Society can only live when we have each other's back.